Did you know that Bill Murray is in trouble? Bill Murray is in trouble. This was he's one of those actors where I was just like, this is going to happen one day. Not like, I think that, not that I know anything, but there's just certain people that are so eccentric. You're like, it was cool to be eccentric in like 2010. Eccentric now is like, you wake up, like, my comparison is always like, can you imagine being like an 80s rocker, having to wake up every day wondering when your day of getting Me Too'd will eventually come to pass? It's going to happen. Yeah. And that's not even what happened to Bill Murray. Bill Murray, it seems like, from what I can understand here, is just a dick. And
like, none of this was even like sexual allegations.
Nope.
It was all just him being crazy.
But what you have to learn here is that if you're mean to men, nobody gives a crap. Nobody gives a crap.
It blew my mind that the title was allegedly handsy with women when the rest of the article is just about him like physically attacking men
and
like,
abusing
full
people. Yeah.
on like charging at them, like throwing shit at them.
So it says Bill Murray was allegedly touchy with the woman on set of Being Mortal before the shoot was shut down. A source exclusively tells the Post. Filming of the 71-year-old Saturday Night Live Legends movie was suspended last week after a complaint was reportedly filed specifically against the actor, alleging quote-unquote inappropriate behavior. By Thursday, the film was suspended indefinitely. Can you imagine, like what I think about this is like all it took was like the one allegation to be shut down indefinitely, but then the rest of the stuff comes out and it makes perfect sense, but the rest of it was all worse. From what I read, the stuff from his past was all worse. So it says, amid an investigation into the Ghostbuster star's on-set actions, a source told Page Six he was very hands-on touchy, not in any personal areas, but put an arm around a woman, touched her hair, pulled her ponytail, but always in a comedic way. I'm literally picturing 6-year-old Bill Murray on a playground at recess, pulling a girl's pigtails and then running away because he wants to tell her he likes her, but he doesn't know how. But he's 71-year-old Bill Murray, and he's like regressing into like, maybe he's got dementia and he's just kind of falling apart.
Like, this part was endearing. Like, you're just this weird old man, lovable, funny.
Hey, there's been a campaign against old men for like the last 20 years where everything old men do is creepy. It's like old man, like an old guy was at the grocery store and he said hi to me. What a creep. So it says, it's a fine line and everybody loves Bill, but while his conduct is not illegal, some women felt uncomfortable and he crossed a line. So because some women were uncomfortable with having their hair tugged at by 71-year-old Bill Murray, but like hundreds of people are no longer working or making money. And I sound like I'm being insensitive. I'm not trying to be insensitive. It's not saying that he sexually assaulted them. It's not saying that he sexually harassed them. It's saying that he essentially acted like a 6-year-old on a playground. And he's 71. You could just push him and break his hip, I am sure, if he did attack you.
The reality is, like, women should be the least uncomfortable around him because he's not going to attack them. Mm-hmm. He's only going to attack a man.
Yeah.
He loves poetry, it says.
Which is not relevant at all.
I love that. I also love a separate source. Like these, I think this is just fake. There's no separate sourse.
A separate source says
also, I love Murray, who is apparently single.
Right.
Which we still can't figure out what the relevance of that is. Maybe what they're saying is that they're
looking
not,
for a lady.
They're not trying to besmirch his honor. Like, look, if he was in a relationship, he wouldn't have pulled any ponytails. He would have been a perfect gentleman.
Yeah. I wonder if this is it's gonna affect his movie with Pepe Le Pew. That's coming out next. Have you heard about that?
No.
What?
Oh yeah, you haven't heard about that? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. So I was going to say, it's like Space Jam 2?
Yeah, he went from Garfield to Pepe Le Pew.
Okay, that'd be cool. He enjoys poetry and romance. He's always flirting, but it's always couched in comedy. It isn't clear if he crossed the line.
What a guy.
I feel so bad for having to live in a world where we live in this world now where it's like, if he did something, just knock him over. Just push him out of the way. He's not going to come after you.
I think it's also hilarious that this is like Aziz Ansari just got out of Me Too jail.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, he's not even out. Technically, I mean, once you're in Me Too jail, for his bad.
What did he get accused of doing?
Bad date.
Bad date.
He was on a bad date. I don't know the specifics, but I think
this was the case where
he went to kiss or something, and she said no, and that was maybe the
no.
whole
She
story.
never said no, but she was I have that here, but
What?
it's They talk about I don't even want to go into it. If you guys want to go look up, it's
Aziz Ansari.
insane that story. But it started a very real discussion with people about what is where does bad date end and sexual assault begin?
Everyone interpreted the details differently. To me, it seemed like it was just a bad date.
Yeah, and a lot of people said that she wasn't like they were like eliminating this woman's agency because she could have said no and left at any time, but she never did. I'm not speaking on that because I don't have the details pulled up, and it's been so long since I've read that. But he's just finally. Can you imagine? Like he's making his movie. I would have hired the safest people in the world.
He hired an old man who likes poetry.
I would have hired. In fact, I wouldn't even have made a regular movie. I'd have made a freaking animated movie and not had any human.
All of the movies are just animated with animals now.
Yes, no, it is. It really is. It's like you can get away
make a
with
movie about fish.
Make it Sonic
in a dance party.
Sonic was great because there's very little human content in that movie. No, I don't want to be in a world where all of the human stuff is liable to be judged as either ideological, socio-political, or something else. Just make it about animals. Who cares? It's fine. So it's got a bunch of these allegations. What was your favorite? Have you guys reviewed the article? What was your personal favorite Bill Murray incident?
I've got one.
Okay, which one?
Who was it that he like got in their face nose to nose and screamed, "Everybody hates you. You are tolerated."
That's
Richard Dreyfuss.
That was the
and
Richard
then
Dreyfuss.
immediately
What about Bob?
Threw an ashtray at him from 2 feet away and missed.
So he was never going to be a pro baseball player. We understand that. But it says Ben Dreyfuss, 35, I'm guessing that's Richard Dreyfuss, yes, his son, says he had a meltdown because he wanted an extra day off, but was denied by the late producer Laura Ziskin. Murray allegedly ripped her glasses off her face, and my dad complained about his behavior, and Bill Murray threw an ashtray at him. Everybody walked off the production and flew back to LA, and it only resumed after Disney hired some bodyguards to physically separate my dad and Bill Murray in between takes. What we found out later is they later tried to bury the hatchet. He's like, we were never friends, but we played golf together and tried our best to understand one another.
Right.
That's just what men do.
You
just beat each other up and forget about it.
Yeah, have you ever? It's like a meme where it's like two women get in a fight. She's like, "I hate you forever," and it's like two guys get in a fight and they beat each other to a pulp. And he says, "F you," and I'll see you tomorrow. That's dudes.
Because a battle between women is a battle of the minds.
Well,
hey,
ouch, ow.
No, you're right.
When I was watching The Northman last night, sorry, unrelated, but Anya Taylor-Joy, I forget the name of her character. She said, "Your strength breaks the bones of men, but I have the strength to break their minds."
She's right,
and it's true.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or as the much derided comic Dane Cook once said, "Women are mental ninjas," or something like that. A very long time ago when bro comedy was in. The elder Dreyfuss previously addressed the alleged ashtray incident by calling Murray a drunken bully without airing all the dirty laundry, or as they would call it nowadays, the tea. The tea.
Without spilling the tea.
He put his face next to me, nose to nose, and screamed at the top of his lungs, "Everybody hates you. You are tolerated." So it's like, remember, tolerant.
There's so many people that need to hear that.
Yes. So Chevy Chase, and this is the other thing I thought was funny, is like, everybody hates Chevy Chase, so if Chevy Chase hates you, it must be bad.
This is my favorite. I love the beef between these guys.
So Chase told radio host Howard Stern about an altercation that occurred between him and Murray on the set of Saturday Night Live. Murray replaced on SNL his Caddyshack co-star, charged at him before a taping in 1978 on the sketch comedy series. At the time, Murray had been recently added to the cast, and Chase had returned to host the show. So Chase already left the show and then came back to host. I was probably a little full of myself after a year of fame or whatever, Chase admitted. I think that Bill probably wanted to knock me down a couple of rungs, and I think he wanted to take me on. I also love how it was probably far less masculine than they're both describing it here. I guess it was.
He said he got into his fighting stance.
It was the 70s.
Yeah,
it was
they
probably
were a lot of coke.
I was gonna say it was more of a cocaine stance and not a fighting stance. I am sure. Yes. And basically, words were said just before the show in the makeup room. I like that this happened in a makeup room too. That also.
Yeah, that's why there was white on the face.
Yes.
Right.
He got me really pissed. I finally went to his dressing room just before the show and opened the door and said, if you say something like that again, I'm going to blank you.
Or blank,
whatever.
Whatever.
On the Howard Stern show, Chase said he later discovered the SNL cast member John Belushi had badmouthed him to Murray before. I like the idea of Belushi as like the Joker, like going in. He's like,
he's planting the seeds.
Yeah, he's like, who wants to see him fight? What happened with Billy Joe? I had no problem with fights. I was ready to level him,
Yeah.
and he was probably ready to scratch me up. At the same time, John puts his hand on the door to block it off. And as I remember, I might have thrown a glancing punch off of Belushi's forehead, and Billy, I think, might have hit him in the back of the head. So nobody got the bad end of this but Belushi.
They threw the dead guy under the
Serves
bus.
him right for trying to start something.
He can't defend himself.
Unbelievable.
For all we know, Belushi like choke slammed them both at the same time like a superhero. Though Chase conceded that he and Murray have never been close, they have been friendly, played golf together, and made an effort. Okay, so that wasn't him and Dreyfuss. It was him and
him and
Chase. Yeah, made an effort over the years to get to know each other better and put the stuff behind them. And Jennifer Butler, that was his wife, right?
Yes.
So he files for divorce and accused the comedian of abandonment, infidelity, and abuse. What is abandonment?
I
Is
think
that a legal
it's some
term?
type of legal term in divorce, but I don't know
Probably
what
just
exactly constitutes
Left the
it.
family.
I mean, that's okay. So
That must be it.
infidelity and abuse are easier to quantify.
Yeah.
Butler and Murray share 4 children and were married for nearly 11 years. In divorce papers, Butler alleged that Murray hit her in the face and then told her she was lucky he didn't kill her. In a statement at the time, Murray's attorney said he was deeply saddened by the breakup of his marriage, added that he and Butler were committed to the best interests of the children. And then it just goes on
This is
and
the
on
only allegation
of
that,
physical abuse.
of like abuse against women
The one about
that
Lucy
actually
Liu.
like indicts him as a person.
Actually Handsy.
Yeah.
These hands.
Yeah.
So it says Lucy Liu.
Hands bisexual.
Yes. On a July 2021 episode of the Times podcast Asian Enough, Liu recalled having to defend herself when Murray allegedly began to hurl insults at her on the set of Charlie's Angels. If you never saw Charlie's Angels, it's a masterpiece. You should go see the original Charlie's Angels. I think she's talking about the sequel here, but you should go see the original. It's a masterpiece. Not the, I mean the original,
Like the OG.
but also the 2000s.
The OG of this
Yes, I love that version.
Interesting.
Another thing that's being exactly what it knows it needs to be
I
without.
never saw that one.
Some of the language was inexcusable and unacceptable, and I was just not going to sit there and take it, Liu told Asian Enough co-hosts Jen Yamato and Tracy Brown. So yes, I stood up for myself, and I don't regret it, because no matter how low on the totem pole you may be, or whoever you came, or wherever you came from, there's no need to condescend or to put other people down, and I would not stand down, nor should I have. She's right.
But as a Native American, I feel offended that she used a totem pole reference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, also isn't that incorrect? I believe at the totem, the highest person on the totem pole goes to the bottom, and the lowest person goes to the top.
We should cancel her.
Oh,
now.
really?
I believe so.
Oh.
The artist and actress added that she has nothing against Murray, who was perfectly nice to her since the incident. So it's like she had to use it to get her. And I hate criticizing Lucy Liu because I love Lucy Liu as an actress, but it's like she had to there was an argument. These people live in a world where they believe that arguments never happen, and when they do happen, everyone's like, I would like to converse. They think it's a Star Trek episode. It's like, I would like to seek third-party discourse with and figure out how to. Figure out our disagreement amicably. That's not how the real world works.
No.
Not
I
really.
also, whenever I hear someone say like the language was inexcusable or unacceptable, I just see a nun saying that. Like,
Well, I would love to know what he actually said.
Exactly.
Maybe it was. I
maybe it
don't
was,
know.
but this is so vague.
Yeah.
I would
Funnier
never
part
know.
is that she probably doesn't remember because it was utterly
Or
forgettable.
she's
Right,
not
true.
saying in the name of like being the bigger person.
Could
maybe,
be.
Could be.
Which,
I would like to give her that benefit of the
Could
doubt.
be.
I would love to give her
Yeah.
that benefit of the
But
doubt.
it feels
'cause I love
like Bill Murray's aggression is just, it's not even targeted at any particular person for a particular reason. He just flies off the handle sometimes.
all the time.
Like all the
I
time.
think he's just always on
Well, it
running at
sounds like it's all the
100%.
time, but it should, like, I think it's relatively rare if you're talking about his entire career.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I don't know anything about him, but I grew up near where he lived or lives now, and there's lots of stories that aren't anything like this, but just that he's a rambunctious person.
Yeah.
He'd abandon golf carts, crash them, leave them, stuff like that.
He's banked off that image for like the last decade and a half.
I think some people in Hollywood become the caricature.
Yeah.
And like, I always think of Hunter Thompson, one of my favorite writers, and also because Bill Murray played Hunter Thompson, and as did Johnny Depp. And these people kind of become the caricature after a while, and they can't shed the character.
And this is off topic, but whatever you think about Bill Murray, you should go see What About Bob, because it's
so
a masterpiece.
good.
I've never seen
It's
it.
so good.
It's very good. You should see it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll watch it right now. We're gonna
Yes,
gonna
Brett.
stop recording and
We'll come
be
back.
in an hour and a half.
We are
And
back.
we're back.
And
You loved it, right?
Yeah, it's a masterpiece, just like Brett said.
it is.
Uh.
It's an incredible movie. So we'll see where this goes. I was surprised that Mary made the very astute observation. She said that none of this got any traction until they made it about being handsy with women,
Yeah.
despite the fact that there's like endless
I had
stuff
no
about
idea
him.
about any of this other stuff, which is way more entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just not long ago. Bill Murray was everyone loved Bill Murray.
He got behind a bar at a random bar and
Right.
started bartending.
Like this movement, which has produced some good, a very small amount. I think it just eats itself, and it's going to turn eventually they'll come for Obama and Tom Hanks,
Yep.
like the top, right? Like Bill Murray just a week ago or 2 weeks ago was everybody's grandfather.
Yep. We'll see where it goes.
Who's
but
next? No one's safe.
Nobody's safe.
No one's safe.
Yeah, and neither are any ponytails on the set of a Bill Murray movie, apparently.
Or your sunglasses.
Yes, your sunglasses are in grave
They are
danger of
going to
being
get thrown.
across a parking lot.
Yep.
Oh, and that we didn't even mention that one.
He threatened to throw a woman across the parking lot. It also took her sunglasses off her face and threw
I love the idea that he thought he could do that.
I think
like,
a lot of it with him is like his humor is so dry, but also it's hyperbole.
yeah.
Clearly, he's not going to throw you across the parking lot.
Like nobody looks at Bill Murray and says, "I was really worried that he was going to throw me across the parking lot."
He's been 80 for 50 years.
He's looked old for a long time.
He was my favorite Letterman guest. Like I used to like Letterman for the late night folks back in the day, and Bill Murray always made a point of being the most ridiculous guest. Like he'd always show up like he'd dress up like a prince, or he'd descend from the rafters. All these ridiculous things.
There was an article I almost covered today because I was gonna bake it into this about there's like a Chevy Chase Saturday Night Live skit about him playing King Tut that's coming under fire now again because it's 2022 and we've got nothing better to do.
Yeah, mummies are off limits.
Yes. So
Very touchy.
thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.